But no, Bethior goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marvels. Kayla versus Allison and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory. Hello everybody and welcome back. We're back with more CV Arcade World Cup streaming right here on the CVR World Cup Mixer page. As always, my name is Jesper Anker, and if you didn't have enough of CV Arcade World Cup racing during Zone K and Zone L earlier today, we're now back with Zone T. This is the final zone of the day. And that means we're having some new riders make their appearance onto the broadcast, into the game, but it's still the same 4 set of races that you've seen in K and in L, and once more they go again. Earlier today, it was a few back and forth affairs. Zone K was really close at the top, Zone L was really close at the top, and I think this one will be no different. I think it will be a nail-biting affair. We start with the no-skill event of the evening, Dark Matter Tech. 3 laps of this, followed by Tempo Run 4 laps. We've seen the bots having a new dynamic in the racing. How will that shake up when you've got some fresh legs in the action? Can't wait to watch that race. Then we finish with Technical Country Rally and a quick, fantastic Alien Sea. But without further ado, we have the always awesome Matti Pikelny back in the broadcast. Matti, it's good to have you back. What's it like to race a zone in your time zone?
Oh, I'm excited. It's 9 p.m. Central here in Chicago, and we've got a bunch of riders from Team Cognition ready to go, riding from all over the world, multiple time zones. I missed the races on Saturday, and I'm itching for a fight, so I can't wait for this to get going.
With the addition of Comeback Kit, did you have a chance to look at how that was being utilized in Zones K and L earlier today?
I talked to a couple riders that rode in those zones and talked some strategy with how people try to deploy those. It's pretty tricky. It takes a lot of skill to try to pull off the right move without losing the power up and get it exactly right, even in this no-skill event. So I think we're going to see a bunch of different strategies that weren't tried in earlier races. There's always something new to be done in Cade, so look for fireworks.
On that topic, today is the day where we have bots in for the first time in CV Arcade World Cup history. Where do you stand on having these bots in and either like making up the pace on the front or helping riders from the back?
Oh, they make me feel at home. They're my kind of people. I've always gotten along better with non-sentient beings, and I think they add a cool dynamic to the mix. You know, we'll be drafting them, we'll be blocking them. We certainly don't want to let them win, so it's going to be exciting.
Well, you never know when Benjamin takes the points. Perhaps he'll get picked up by Team Cognition as well. Good luck, Matti, as we get ready for Dark Matter Tech. Also broadcasting in today, Alison Kubota is back for her 3rd zone of the day. She let me know that she just had a quick nap and she's ready to race more. She races for Team Cognition. Casey Schaum of Team Experimental is back in amongst the racing again. Ryan Goldenberg, the winner of Zone K earlier this morning. Change of bandana, but still back in the CVR kit. Frank Garcia is up and ready to rumble as well. It'll be his 3rd zone of the day. Aaron Starlin of Team CVR is making a return to the broadcast. And then we looked further back as well for Sebastian Kuhn, who's not racing in, he's not broadcasting in, but he is racing at 4 a.m. in the morning German time. He didn't have the best of experiences in zones K and L, so he says, you know what, we have zone T, I want to race, I'm getting involved. As we watch the start being given. In the last two zones, this race was significant for the points at the top, but it didn't make all the difference. It really came down to the later stages, the country rallies, the temple runs, the Fantastic Alien Seas. So yes, you can win this, but it does set the tone. As Frank Garcia early on uses comeback kit, so does Kim Fairchild, as Kayla Laguna is also broadcasting in, and she is further down staying with the butts. So before we saw Frank use his comeback kit to try and catch them all sleeping. This time Matti Pikelny off the front early, trying to break away and break the block, but behind him there are 6 hungry wolves and they're all trying to catch the lone rider at the front. Will they be able to? Guess we'll just have to wait and see, as it's Aaron and Allison taking their turns on the front, and they're not letting Matti get anywhere at this point. So 7 riders have made the front group. It's good to see Nigel racing in on a keyboard. Daniel LeBlanc is further down. If he can navigate through the bots, he may be able to use his comeback kit to come through. We see where he is. So Daniel LeBlanc does have a comeback kit, so regardless of the poor start to the race, he can use comeback kit. He's only 10 seconds down and should propel him right up to the front group, but we'll see if he can reach over. It is very late in the Daniel LeBlanc household, but you know what he said? It's 10 p.m, but I'm not gonna miss out on CV Arcade World Cup racing. I can't wait to have people in my zone, and so he got out of bed and he's ready to rock and race with the rest. But not the best of starts here on Dark Matter Tech, but plenty of racing to make up for that as Temple Run looms around the corner. Nigel Doyle further down uses his comeback kit power up. I mean, we look at the front now. Before we saw Casey attempt the comeback kit power up strategy, you let go of the front group and you use comeback kit. We saw Frank attempt it, but in both races zone K and L, it didn't really seem to work out, and you shouldn't think result oriented, but the way we've seen it so far, it may be even better to not bother at all with a comeback kit. But I think odds wise, if you can nail that strategy with using comeback kit, it will increase the likelihood of you winning. But it's so early on, as this is the first time we have comeback kit as a power up in a no skill event. It'll take a lot of testing back and forth, as Homer Thompson further down also uses comeback kit. Matti Pikelny attacked early on. He's got Sebastian Kuhn of Team Cognition. His teammate is in there. He's got Allison in here. So strength in numbers for the blue, as Aaron Starlin, 800 watts on the front, 190 equalized heart rate. You can see him going very early as Matti Pikelny right on his case. The 2 blue riders, Matti is throwing everything he's got. He's opening himself up for a comeback kit, but he is not letting that be the case. 100 meters to go. The corner is right there, and the long range attack victory. Matti, then Aaron, then Casey, and then Ryan further down. Then you got Allison, Frank Garcia just on the line. I think Frank may have just come around Allison, taking one more point, but that was an excellent attack, started by Aaron and finished off by Matti Pikelny. Let's have a closer look as Matti digs so deep to get every single point. He doesn't get to race often, but when he does, he brings his A game. Aaron Starlin makes the initial attack with 300 meters to go, and you can see the 800 equalized watts. He wants it pretty badly, but Matti realizes the danger of the move that Aaron has started and goes over the top. And with Sebastian and Allison, teammates further down, they're not going to accelerate and bring it back. So it's up to Casey and Ryan to do the chasing. And look at Matti Pikelny throwing caution into the wind. We spoke with Ryan before the racing in Zone K. He went on to win. We spoke with Matti before Zone T, and he went on to win. So congratulations, Matti. Not only did Ryan go on to win Dark Matter Tech, but he also went on to win the Omnium. Are you headed on the same projection?
Let's hope so. A lot of racing left to go. A lot of miles on Temple Run. Other people have some tired legs. There's some fresh people too. So can't rest on our laurels, but it's a great start to the Omnium. Very pleased with that.
Now we take on the beast, as Ryan called it earlier. Tempo run, 4 laps, Matti. I think you and Team CVR have equal strength in numbers, 3-3. What's the game plan for Team Cognition?
Well, we've got 2 minutes and 45 seconds to figure that out. We'll see. We just got to try not to let any breaks get away. We got to try to set the pace at the front and position the right rider to take it in the end. So it's going to be a lot of work, but a lot of fun.
I like it, Matti. Good luck in Temple Run as we watch your finish to the line once more. The effort that took. We'll see how much he sapped out of his legs, but it was a good sign earlier. Aaron was second in the previous race. Aaron, you went quite far. You did end up taking second place. Talk me through that thought process of saying, right, now is the time. I'm just going to throw everything into this and go.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought I could stay towards the center and push, try to pull out from the group early and hope no one saw. But, you know, Matti pushed really hard, and he got that. I don't have it in me to get back to that. Once he got that push, there was nothing for me left.
Well, good effort nonetheless. Second place, only 4 points down. You are the leading CVR rider. Does this mean that Kayla, Frank, they're going to start to work with you and try to put you in good position here? Or what's the strategy for Team CVR?
I'm not sure. This is the map that actually just says loading track scenery for me, and I can't even see the map. So I'm just going to ride and hope for the best.
That sounds like a brilliant strategy. Good luck, Aaron. And let's get a quick word from Ryan Goldenberg down in 4th. Because, Ryan, you won Zone K earlier today. You take on Zone T now. How confident are you in this one? What are the sensations in the legs?
I'm confident that I know, within a few minutes how long it's going to take. Maybe a few more than earlier today. But, yeah, just hoping for a few points. I think if I were to get close to where I was this morning, I'd be more than happy. But we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Thanks, Ryan. Good luck to you and the Velocity Vixen team, which I think you are the sole representative of today. You are watching CV Arcade. It's physical esports thanks to physical equalization. All these riders, no matter their ability, no matter their background in cycling, no matter whether they've been riding for 10 years or 2 years or 2 days, they're able to compete on a level playing field, and they're doing so for a grand prize purse of $25,000. Now we get ready. I think everybody's eyes are going to be on Team CVR and Cognition for this one. They are the two heavyweights as Frank Garcia uses weight lifted and wind at his back from the gun, and so does Kayla, and she uses quantum shift as well, but she's further back. She's down in 3rd. In between is Neil Stewart at 201 equalized heart rate right from the gate. He's pushing as hard as he's ever done, and Casey Shum is aware to the task. Sebastian Kuhn is up there as well, but caught sleeping, Matti P. Kelney. He is out the back. Allison, secondary group. Ryan using his power. So early on, Frank is choosing to try and just use his power-ups to get up the road and just get rid of the bots. Remember, there are bots, and this is Matti flying on through with wind at his back, trying to bridge across. There is bots on this, so there are different approaches you can take. As Kayla and Frank launch again! They've gone through one salvo, they've reloaded, and then they fire again. They've used every single power up bar quantum shifts, and they are out of it. I think they're trying to establish an early breakaway with Casey Shum. They've succeeded in so far, but Cognition with Sebastian and Matti, they are in there, and this is shaping up to be an excellent race here. Early morning in Europe, late evening in the US, midday in Australia, as Ryan Goldenberg early into the racing. He is a large casualty of these powers being deployed. He has chosen not to use his just yet, so he's sitting in a good position. Was he to use it, he may have to make that decision rather soon, as Alison Kubota down in 11th. She can see Erin Starlin, Sharon Hackerthorn, and Nigel Doyle further up, and there comes the armada of chasing butts behind. We bring back the Benjamins, the Thomas and the Roberts. Who will they be helping today to victory? Because they're going to be doing, oh, I see they've been toned down. They're only doing 320 equalized watts here in Temple Run for Zone T. So that won't make the biggest of difference. If it was 367, they'd be a significant threat to this front group. But doing 320, they're going to help stragglers further back. But that's going to be a totally different dynamic here compared to Zone K and L. So we'll see how that now pans out with the butts being toned down from 367 to 320. The two Team Cognition riders, Sebastian Kuhn, Matti Pikelny, they have made that initial selection. They've saved some of their power-ups, and now we start looking around. Casey just gets out of the pace line, lets Cognition through. How do you play this one through now? We've got some of the greatest minds in CV Arcade racing history. You've got Sebastian Kuhn, Casey Shum, Kale Laguna, Matti Pikelny, and Frank Garcia. Every single one of these riders can be classed as a tactician. They understand the intricacies of the game. They understand the different variances of situations as they unfold. And this 3-on-2 situation now will be interesting to see. So Frank, opting for a position at the back, uses Quantum Shift here to try and get through the group. And Matti, aware to the case. Yeah, I mean, this is where usually blocking becomes a major factor because it's a low skill event. Uncrashable is on as an ability. As we just go back for a second here, because Erin Starlin, the runner up in the last race, shakes his head, a bit of a defeated shrug. So obviously you heard him say some technical difficulties there. So he was on a good one today. Maybe he'll be able to salvage it. Just making sure to finish the stage, head into Country Rally, because it's never over. If we learned anything from Zone K and Zone L, Country Rally can change everything upside down. Ryan Goldenberg is trying to attack to bridge across. He used wind at his back. He's 12 seconds down, and it's going to be a tough ask for the Velocity Vixen rider. I like the little shrug by the head going, yeah, I'm in this situation. May as well just get on with it. So, Ryan, 14 seconds, 15 seconds now. It's going the wrong way because CVR on the front hammering it. It'll be interesting to see if Sebastian and Matti chooses to share in the workload, because I fear if they don't, you may see Frank starting to pull out some enforcing. You may see Casey trying to attack over the top. So it's a balancing act of being a unison group, everybody agreeing to keep the pace high, because you've got 4 laps of this. You're in for 19.4 kilometers together. Like, you're all just handcuffed to each other, and your fate is my fate. And that way, if I go down, you go down. And I think they all realize this as we stick with the Matti near the back. So Sebastian Kuhn, of course, early in the morning. It's good to see he's got everything working. Nobody has got Zone T as their preferred zone today. Some people do for Thursday. But since it's such a new zone in the racing, I wouldn't expect anyone to have it as their preferred zone. But what this means in regards to bonus points is that it all comes down to that streaming. Streaming in, matching kit, audio, everything. That's going to be the decider at the end, most likely when we look at the scoreboard. And speaking of the scoreboard, the overall leader on CVR, or on cycledata.cvrworldcup.com has changed. It used to be Tim Fulford, but with today's racing and week 3 racing, Frank Garcia has dethroned the Team Cycling Hub member and is currently the leader on the overall leaderboard over on Cycle Data, on the rankings website. So Frank has been doing quite well. Your best 8 results count. And so as you come through now and you're racing your 10th zone, your 11th zone, what ends up happening is that those, you like in the 8 zones you raced initially in the 2 weeks, you're gonna have some good ones, you're gonna have some bad ones. As you perform better here in week 3, you're gonna replace some of the bad ones with better results. And that's what happened with Frank Garcia. He raced a few, and he is now the leader on the leaderboard as Team Cycling Hub opting not to get involved in the racing today. Let's see what's gonna happen. I see Planted Curve 793. I just got a messenger saying Planted Curve 793 thinks you are a stud. Well, Planted Curve, you know what? You're a stud. Thank you very much. Casey Shum goes on to the attack, and so does Matti Pikelny. Matti is opting to go for a bit of a time trial here. 500 equalized watts off the front, 191 equalized heart rate. I think this is a good move for Cognition, but I'm not certain, because Matti and Sebastian, they need to do something to keep the pace high in this group and to keep Nigel, to keep Ryan at bay, because they're up there. But they also have to be careful. As you can see, Kayla, she's done a lot of the pacing. She is getting ready now as well. She's taking the back seat. So Frank moves from the back to the front, and he attempts to close down Matti. But Matti at 193. Every single pedal stroke. There's so much power, so much force. I mean, there's just that willpower of, okay, I want this, I'm gonna go get it. But at 193 equalized heart rate, he has a 2-second gap as we look over the shoulder. How long can he keep this up for? And the bigger question is, we saw this in Zone L. There was attacks up the front. Homer and Kayla were a 2-man group up the front. The second they got caught, Frank Garcia counterattacked with Ben Shuilong over the top. Frank got a big lead, and then they got caught, and Ben Shuilong counterattacked. And I think we might be able to see the same thing here. So Cognition, they're going to have to be ready, because whenever, if Matti gets caught, I assume Sebastian's going to have to be honest. Frank slams the door here on Sebastian. He accelerates back up. It may have been inadvertent, it may not have been, but it's going to force Sebastian Kuhn to make a decision here, because Frank is on the right, Sebastian on the left, neither getting a draft, and Frank now sitting on the wheel. So I don't think the block was intentional. I think Frank wanted to get on the wheel of Sebastian and say, right, Sebastian, you're not going to get a free ride, you're not going to get optimal drafting, you too have got to do some of the work, as Casey Shum bridges the gap to Matti Pikelny. We have got 4 laps of tempo run. We're coming to the second climb now up Tempo Run Hill, and it is turning out to be an excellent race between Team Experimental, Team Cognition, Team CVR here, with Casey Shum, Matti Pikelny, Frank Garcia, Kale Laguna, and Sebastian Kuhn. If Nigel was to do so, he could help, because Ryan Goldenberg and Aaron Starlin, there are important points on offer here, because the scoring multiplier is 2. Further down, every point is more and more valuable, because you're racing for the overall. There's Country Rally and Fantastic Alien Sea. It's important that you don't let your head hang, because there's more racing to come. There's higher skilled racing. We saw time and time again today on the different zones that Country Rally, that 3x score multiplier, can make all the difference. It can make you go from 5th in the scoreboard to 1st. So you've got to just dig in there and know that times will get better. It does get easier. You just have to go quicker. As Sebastian is getting back in as well. Nigel Doyle on the keyboard. That will be an interesting dynamic. What happens when Team CCC's Nigel Doyle gets back to the front? Because he's on a keyboard. He's essentially a butt at 367. He usually rides physically, but it's probably either due to work commitments or wherever he is. He's got his laptop. He wouldn't miss the racing, so he's on a keyboard. But this changes the dynamic completely. Because when he gets back up to the front, he's going to be able to drag riders along. He's going to be able to slow things down as Casey Shum attacks over the top. And this just whips Cognition into action. It whips CVR into action. Kayla, Matti both taking turns on the front, as Casey will come underneath the waterfall for the second time of the evening. And it's Kayla Laguna trying to bridge across. Matti aware to the fact that there's something at bay here, as Nigel has now bridged across. Who will he share his allegiance with? Will it be his prior teammate Sebastian Kuhn at Team CCCs, who's now at Team Cognition, or will it be Team CVR? I mean, Nigel has got some history with some unfortunate blocking with Frank Garcia on Saturday, some crashing on Country Rally. Today, is there going to be some making up on a keyboard? We will keep a close or a keen eye, because that is always fun to watch as the yellow colors of Nigel Doyle make it to the front of the race. Casey and Kayla are now together. Matti Bikelny at 700 equalized watts is attacking and breaching across. Casey is not allowing it anytime soon though. 500, 600, this is warfare. Everyone just reloading and going again, and you've got the trenches and you've got the commanders and the sergeants and the captains further back giving out command for the foot soldiers, and the foot soldiers charge into war head on first, and they just hear the whistles, and there Matti Bikelny attaches himself to the front group. You'll see if that wagon can stay apace, or the conductor is going to pull the brakes on that one, because you have 3 riders up here, and now Sebastian Kuhn, Nigel Doyle, they've got to do something as well, because Frank's here, he's trying to sit on the wheel, Sebastian is attacking. Frank's already raced 2 zones today, raced K, raced L, both competitively, so we'll see how much he's got left in the tank here. Doesn't quite look to be too much. He's got Ryan and Aaron Starlin further down, but first casualty of the front group seems to be Frank Garcia, as he is now 3 seconds down. It's never over. This group could very well slow down, but with Casey on the front at 500 equalized watts, that would say otherwise, as we're on the GoPro view, as Kim Fairchild likes to call it, for Matti Bikelny. We watch from the action camera. This is what he can see. He comes on through, slides on out, and the facial grimace tells you everything you need to know, as Sebastian and Nigel are in fact offering each other a helping hand. So this is what it means. This is CV Arcade, and the CV Arcade World Cup is all about working together across teams. It's all about, you know, creating alliances, trying to, you help some, you give some, you take some, and Sebastian and Nigel are definitely, they've got some sort of agreement here as Nigel helps Sebastian back in, and now Nigel, will he take to the front? Because what Nigel can do, by the fact that he's racing on his keyboard, is that he could get to the front and just hold a comfortable pace, and that allows the other riders further down to sit in and recover their breath. As Nigel Doyle puts the brakes on Kayla, I think that was the rain check. Nigel Doyle somewhere was just going, oh, I'm going to put the brakes on Kayla. It's going to be amazing. And he does. But in doing so, he also catches his friend and former teammate, Sebastian Kuhn, out. So Nigel on the keyboard, that's going to be controversial. There are going to be words had on CV Arcade riders after this. I mean, all fair and square when you're physically there, but when you are on a keyboard, I don't know. I like it though. I like it. We're bringing in some passion. We're bringing in some feelings. We're bringing some build-up emotions over days of racing, and we'll see how it plays out as Matti, Kayla, and Casey, 3 people here on the front. 9 kilometers to go. If you're just tuning in and you are loving the storylines, you're loving the plays, click that follow button down below, because we're live for the 3rd time today as Nigel comes on through with Quantum Shift. I would be so attentive to his every move. That sneaky Kiwi, he knows exactly what he's doing, and we watch now as he goes to the front. 2 Cognition riders, a CVR and Team Experimental. Kayla comes on through, and she tries to move across Nigel's. Nigel slams on the door again. You can see the momentum change. Sebastian Kuhn gets caught, and Kayla gets caught again. Nigel Doyle on the front. The CVR rider, she uses Quantum Shift. You get 2. She's already used 1, and Nigel Doyle forces out a Quantum Shift power-up from Kayla Laguna here. She now knows the name of the game. She cannot allow for Nigel to come back, because she's out. He looks like he's singling out the CVR riders in this one to try and slow them down. Always fascinating with these low-skill events, as uncrashable abilities allow for these alternative racing strategies. Because in real life, I mean, you wouldn't quite see somebody. I mean, sometimes when it's really rough racing, and I'm sure Neil Stewart can attest to this, when it's really rough racing in the US, or I've heard stories in Italy's, riders will ride up to each other and just take each other out. Now, this is a lot more friendly, but with Uncrashable as an ability, you're able to do it again and again and again. And there is the yellow jerseys. You know, this is the one you've got to be careful of. He's the jester out there on course. Matti, third wheel. Casey, fourth. Sebastian's up here again. Frank's 10 seconds off the back. He's not giving up. Frank riding that time trial consistently around 350 equalized watts, and he's doing an excellent job. But we watch again Kayla, fresh out of quantum shifts. She's getting a draft here from Nigel. Nigel at 32 k's an hour as Matti makes a move, and he's on the inside in the blue for Kayla Laguna. How is this going to pan out? This is going to be a stage of the ages. The first time we're broadcasting Zone T live here on Mixer, and I can't wait to see Temple Run. As there goes Nigel. Nigel slams on the brakes, but Kayla comes on through. This time around, it wasn't too painful of a block as we watch now as she comes on through. Matti Bikelny takes the lead at the front. He won the first race today, and he is still grinding away. He's still fighting for every pedal stroke like it could be his last, as Ryan Goldenberg and Frank Garcia are now together further down. They could get back. They're only 10 seconds off. This is a really interesting scenario that's now unfolding further down. Frank and Ryan, if they are a well-oiled machine, because that front group with Nigel at the helm, it's going to accelerate. It's going to slow down. And as you go to the Kim Fairchild action camera, you can see the riders up the road. So if Ryan and Frank, which they are doing now, work together, take turns in the front, I reckon they could very well get back. And then we have a 7-man race for the victory here on Temple Run, as Matti is leading the pace on the front for Team Cognition. Once again, we watch the unfolding battle here of Kayla Laguna and Nigel Doyle. So this is what Kayla is doing now is brilliant. You can't be blocked if you are the one doing the blocking. So you're seeing Kayla letting Nigel sit on her wheel, but in doing so, she's actually just riding away. Casey not taking up any of the pacing, saying, Cognition, it's all you. Have a field day, come to the front, it's your turn. And so Kayla and Nigel, Kayla's got to be careful, but there she slams on the door again, and this is next level gameplay. You don't see this anywhere else when it comes to virtual fitness, when it comes to physical esports. Kayla and Nigel just playing that cat and mouse game as Matti bridges across once more, back and forth and back and forth. But what this lends itself to, it's to Ryan, it's to Frank. They were dropped initially from this group, but thanks to their cooperation, I think they're going to get back in with a little help of, I was almost going to say Tasmanian Devil, but that is a different country, as Nigel Doyle making his presence felt here at the front. Ryan Goldenberg at 300 equalized watts, rocking that CVR kit in real life and in game. They're only 5 seconds down now, 6 seconds down. And the next time we cross under that start-finish banner, that will be the last lap of racing here on Temple Run. It's been 4 back-and-forth races, and dare I say, probably the best race of today on the 3 zones on Temple Run. And there's been some great racing. And we're now watching the conclusion of Zone T. Remember, we've got Country Rally coming up after this. You're going to be dodging the barn door, the hay bales, and the logs. How much you have left in the legs, how much you have left on the upper stages. You gotta hope that the lift goes all the way. But we look once more as the green and yellow, it's almost like a traffic light. It's just staying there together side by side as Nigel Doyle on a keyboard. Kayla finds herself behind Sebastian Kuhn. 5 kilometers to go. At what point do they become not afraid but aware of the threat behind? They do now. Sebastian goes up to 500 equalized watts, testing the legs of Kayla Laguna, just saying, right, I am here. But what's happening now with the leaderboard is first down to 8th Actually, first down till, I mean, 13th. It's first down to 13th is close. Anything can happen coming into Country Rally and Fantastic Alien Sea, but this is it. Last lap of racing coming up now. Ring the bell, everybody. Ryan Goldenberg uses wind at his back. He is now trying to bridge across. We saw Casey Shum do this in the previous zones, and he does it again. So Ryan pulls off a Casey, and that is fantastical. Ryan Goldenberg on the back foot from lap 1 due to the early pressure, and now he reaches to the front group, and as this happens, Matti Pikelny goes, no, I'm not happy with the group getting bigger. We need to shred some of the dead weight. Off we go to the front. He puts more coal on the fire, and the steam engine goes once more. Conductor Matti Pikelny, he's only got one passenger, and that's Casey Shum with him, and they have a 4-second gap. As you can see, Casey, he looks calm and composed at this point, but he's forced to use a weight-lifted power-up here on the incline. He's trying to get up to Matti. These two both have attended a CVR World Cup live event in person before, and now they're duking it out on Temple Run. What's happening is they have a 7-second gap as Kayla Laguna is forced to make a move now. She is leaving Sebastian behind, and poor Ryan and Frank, they finally make the bridge across, but the second they do so, Matti, Casey, Kayla, they all say, nope, you work so hard, we're just gonna up it a notch. We're just gonna go into that Fast and Furious famous 9th gear and go once more. As Casey Shum, Team Experimental, he's on the front, he's digging deep. He's got his mouth wide open, getting in every single breath of air. As Matti, Quantum Shift, I think he's just trying to get a bit more draft here perhaps, but no, he comes on through, and he's got Sebastian Kuhn down in 5th with Nigel Doyle. They're going to be working together, and then Casey uses his Quantum Shift. So both of them swapping their Quantum Shifts here, optimal drafting, and they seem to be keen on working together. So this is what CV Arcade in terms of physical esports offer as a platform, as Matti uses his excellent gameplay here. Both of them are pushing as Casey happy with it as Matti comes through, Casey comes through, and this is what CV Arcade offers as a platform. No other platform can do physical esports like this. You have to be clever, you have to be fresh, you have to be in here understanding the power-ups, the lanes. It is a thinking person's game, and I'm saying person because of physical equalization, men and female across all levels of fitness, of entry point when it comes to bikes and trainers, they can compete. And this just I'm awake at 3:30 in the morning, and this brings a massive smile to my face, because this is what I live for now, as Matti and Casey are pushing it at 195, 193, getting an excellent workout. And now Kayla, she's all alone, but she knows she cannot let Nigel get back up. She can't let Sebastian get up. Ryan is further down. He is hatching a ride with Sebastian and Nigel, enjoying the fact that Nigel is on a keyboard. This could all come back together. With 2.8 kilometers to go, this could very well come back together. Casey and Matti are going to do their best to make sure this doesn't happen. But with Nigel on a keyboard, he's got unlimited power to a certain degree. I guess that makes it not unlimited, but he's got power, and we'll see if that'll be enough to crest Casey and Matti both at 194, 193. Casey uses wind at his back to just catch his breath here for a second and keep the peloton, or keep the pack cohesive. 10 seconds down now to the chasing group, 15 seconds, and with 2.4 kilometers to go, these two are getting the best workout of their life, taking turns. And when you get into this flow state, when you get into this mind where hours feels like seconds, days feels like minutes, and months feels like an hour, I mean, that is awesome when time just passes by so quickly and you get so immersed in the gameplay as Casey and Matti. I don't even know who's gonna win the stage between the two of them, because they've been pushing back and forth, and we now have to see how it pans out. Matti at 300. There may not be a lot in the tank left. At what point do they start cat and mousing? Because they have a gap of 12 seconds to Kayla. They have a gap further down. I think Casey's telling them to go. So we'll see. Yeah, he's shaking his head. He's telling him, come on, let's go. But Matti, this is the thing. You gotta you got to play to win. And Casey is eager to keep the pace up with 1.7 Ks to go. Matti might just say, right, I'm going to want to win the sprint, so I'm saving something. But at this point, he's a bit out of the draft, and this opens the opportunity for Casey to pull in the dagger. 700 watts on the front. Matti is just out of the draft as we look from behind, and you look from above now. 1.4 Ks to go. But I like Casey's visual representations of what he's trying to say with his hands, and I can't wait to get his words after this, because there's been an excellent teamwork performance between Casey and Matti until this point, but with 1 kilometer to go, it's all coming to an end soon. Kayla is 10 seconds off the back. She most likely is not coming back. But Sebastian Kuhn is going to attempt one last go. I think Sebastian has got every single power-up left. And if that is the case, he can use one, and use another, and use another. And he's 13 seconds down up to Matti and Casey. He's catching Kayla. He can see them further up. Who's it going to be? Only time will tell. Matti still off the back. He's not glued onto the back of Casey's wheel. He's not getting the optimal drafting percentages, but it's tough because both of them are working so hard. As Sebastian further down uses Quantum Shift, he is 8 seconds back. Keep an eye on the German because he is coming in hot here. It's Kayla. I think Kayla is going to try and stick on the wheel and get a free ride, but 400 meters to go. On the front, it's Casey. I mean, sorry for going back and forth, but the stories are just everywhere. Sebastian, if he's got the power-ups, can still come back, but he needs to go now. At 196, Casey is pushing everything he's got. Matti Pikelny on the inside. It's going to be a sprint finish here on Temple Run. Matti, Casey, Matti moves to the right. Casey's on the inside, and it's going to be Matti Pikelny taking the win here on Temple Run. Fantastic finish. And now Kayla versus Sebastian for that third place. It's going to be Sebastian Kuhn who takes third with Kayla in fourth. And then further down, Ryan Goldenberg in fifth. Fantastic effort. Frank still trotting along out on course. Whew! Replay. Launch it. That was probably one of the best races I've seen on CV Arcade World Cup. Casey and Matti on the front, trading turns, using Quantum Shift, making sure that the pace is kept high, coming into the sprint. Casey knowing that he had to go long at 197. There just wasn't much left, but Matti, playing the poker game he did, had more in the tank left, came around Casey, and with 50 meters to go, left him in the dust and was able to celebrate his victory as he crossed the line first. Not much of a celebration, but it looks like it took much out of him. Congratulations, Matti. You and Casey looked like you had a game plan. Talk me through that two-man move that you found yourself in.
Oh, man. We worked well together until we didn't, which is the name of the game. But we were with that group of 4 or 5 riders for a while, and it was clear that if Ryan and Frank caught us and were able to rest a little bit, it was going to be more riders contesting it at the end. And it seemed like a better bet for Casey and I to have a 50% shot by going off together and racing at the end than bringing it down to 5 or 6 or 7 people. So it was smart racing. I thought I was toast on the descent. It was close. That took a lot out of me. It was fun.
Talk to me about the physics of that whole experience, because CV Arcade, it's got all these different themes. It's got mountain biking, road biking, and fantastical, but it's all grounded in the truth of real life riding, like physics. How did it feel to be in that two-man group with Casey, trading turns in a breakaway?
Well, it felt like something I cannot actually experience in real life, because if that was me and Casey on the road, his full effort, I wouldn't have been able to stay with him. I wouldn't have been able to help him, and I would have been left in the dust. So what I got to experience is what it's like to race outdoors with the best of the best, and that's what all of us got to experience. And we were trading off just to try to get one more second, another second, a little bit of a gap on that group to demoralize them. But as soon as we were at our limit, you could see the time start to come down. There was a real chance that Kayla and others could have caught us at the end. So we were trying to maximize our cooperation and take advantage of the physics by trading off, and then also using the quantum shifts strategically to get a little bit more draft. It was improvised and it was well done.
Good luck in Country Rally, Matti. We've also got Casey in here in the broadcast as we watch him suffer a bit more. Casey, did you feel like the collaboration between the two of you was good in that front group? Because you were making hand signals there towards the end.
Yeah, I wish I was on audio with him. I used my power-ups early with Matti just to show him my willingness to cooperate. You know, we didn't gain a lot with those quantum shifts, but to me that was a pat on the back. That was a I'm here with you kind of gesture. So I did that intentionally. I was racing very angry at that point due to other things. You can read about that on Facebook later. But Matti did a heck of a job, and I turned myself inside out because I was determined that we were getting away on that. I was mad enough I wasn't letting him back.
Well, it played out, Casey. It was a close sprint in the end. I'll let you get ready with 20 seconds to go, because it is close at the top, at the scoreboard, as you can see. Country Rally and Fantastic Alien Sea is going to determine who is going to be the winner of the first ever Zone T. And I can already tell you, watch out Zone K, watch out Zone L. We may have a new Jesper Anchor favorite zone to broadcast, because this is amazing. As Daniel LeBlanc on the front here, he's back in. Frank Garcia uses his power. We've seen this again and again and again with the wind here on Country Rally, straight from the gun. That's where you get it. Everybody is using wind at their back. That is like so awesome to see. How many people are gonna crash out though here as they come hot into the first corner? None so far. And then the second corner coming up again. Frank uses corner caper. Daniel LeBlanc takes a nap by the side. Casey comes on through, and Frank talks about rhythm courses and his Dark Matter Velo, Country Rally, etc. And you're seeing that here as well, where opting to use his corner caper early on, trading that final blow in order to get more like momentum, more speed, more distance earlier on, because he's not going to need that final sprint if he can gain a second every corner, every lap. As you watch Matti coming into this as the outright leader at the top, but we've taken away Uncrashable. We still have one corner caper, but no Uncrashable. It's gonna be close. Casey, Matti, Frank, Sebastian, Kayla, any of them can really win at this point, with Ryan and Allison being the outsiders. You watch Frank and Casey. They've gone at it time and time again here on Country Rally as they pass the lake on the left. The wind particles hit their face, and they need to really put out all the stops here. As Kayla in third is just hanging on. She's getting up there as well. She can see Casey. She can see Frank. They've used their one wind at their back, and now Casey opts to use his. He's going to have to come around Frank here, and because he's got corner caper left still, so this is massive advantage to Casey, and he finds himself 20 points ahead of Matti now on the leaderboards, and Matti with Sebastian are finding Frank. They're finding Kayla, so they pass one. Matti comes through. He avoids Frank. Frank used both his power-ups, so he is laying pretty dead in the water at this point, unless he finds a second win. And this moves Matti higher up in the podium, only 12 points behind Casey. And you've got a teamwork situation here with Cognition, Sebastian and Matti opting to work together. But Casey, knowing the situation at hand, just has to continue on the pressure, just has to apply everything he's got, because Matti's got a teammate, he's saving some energy, and you can see the equalized heart rate differential between having a teammate and not having a teammate. Casey's at 193, while Matti's at 179 with Sebastian. And that's going to be very important, because next race is Fantastic Alien Sea. It's 2 laps, and you're going to need every inch of power you've got left, because it's shaping up to be a fantastic finish, with Kayla in second place, and she's only 20 points behind Matti and Casey. So if Casey and Matti were to crash, Kayla slots into a good position at the top together with Sebastian Kuhn. Now, as they cross the finish banner, next time they will enter the last lap here on Country Rally. And if you're enjoying Country Rally, enjoying Temple Run, enjoying Dark Matter Tech, why not click that follow button down below? We gained a significant amount of followers during the last stream for Zones KNL, so why not join all the other CV Arcade fanatics in getting involved in the action? Matti and Sebastian, it may just be damage limitation for these two, as if they can catch Kayla, Casey may be out of sight at this point, but they've got to be careful because Ryan Goldenberg has won on Country Rally before, and he is now catching back up on his mountain bike. He is 1 second back from Matti and Sebastian, and as part of Velocity Vixen, he might want to put a spanner in the works for those as they pass Susan on course. 800 meters to go. Casey comes through, and as everybody takes a group picnic on the hay bales, Casey using his corner caper here again. We've seen that before from Casey, opting to use it there, and I think it may just last both corners. We'll see. Coming on through, is he going to risk it? No, he's not, but a 197. Casey Shum is feeling the burn. Daniel LeBlanc of Team Cognition as well, down in 15th place, but higher up thanks to the AI riders. And you watch as it unfolds. 400 meters to go. Kayla's at 191. She is fighting to keep Matti, etc. at bay. She needs to take as many points as possible because 9 points is the difference. If Matti is to catch Kayla, he will move back into first place, but only by about 3 points. So he's got 4 seconds up to Kayla now, and this is all important. 200 meters to go. We go back to Casey as he comes to the last turn of racing. 4 seconds is between him and Kayla. He can see the finish line, and I think Casey Shum is going to take the win. Here's Ryan, goes crashing down. Thumbs up from Casey Shum. Kayla Laguna takes second place. Matti Pikelny takes third with a sprint. Ryan crashed. Sebastian fourth. Homer Thompson with a brilliant ride as well. He might actually have enough momentum, but he opts not to sprint. So Ryan crosses the line. Next, Alison Kubota. She is one that usually performs very well here on Country Rally, but she is racing all 3 races tonight, so she might be starting to feel it in the legs. But let's have a look at Casey's celebration once more as we head to Fantastic Alien Sea, the 4th and final race here in the CV Arcade World Cup, Week 3, early weekday, Zone T. Matti trying to get back on. There were some really important points snapped up by Kayla, because that 9-point differential coming into this, that's the difference between being first and second place on the leaderboard. Casey, Kayla, Matti, Sebastian, it's going to be a heads-up battle here. So congratulations, Casey. It is your second zone of the day, I believe. Fantastic Alien Sea, you're in the front. How was Country Rally again?
Country Rally hurt. It was good. I knew how to ride it, but I gave it my all between the corners and hit it right. I'm just cooked. I rode earlier, I swam a mile, and I ran 3 miles between the zones today, so this is going to hurt.
There's only 5.5 kilometers between you and winning Zone T, so I mean, what's another 5 kilometers to add to a mile into a run?
Foot race? I can beat him in a foot race.
So what you're saying is, Matti, get off the bike and we'll see the CV Arcade running event. But nonetheless, Casey,
I want to run a 5K against them. Let's go.
sounds like we need to have another CVR World Cup in the near future. You going up against Team Cognition, how much is it going to mean to have, for Matti to have those teammates over you being the sole experimental rider?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Matti still kind of has the upper hand here. He's fresh, or fresher than me anyway, and he's got the teammates. He knows the game really well. But I'm going to give it everything I got, and you guys have seen me do it before. I mean, I won't give up till my legs give up, but I think Matti still has the upper hand, honestly.
Well, on that note, let's go get a word from Matti Pikelny. Matti, quite a roller coaster of a race there. You almost caught up to Kayla in the end. You're finding yourself in second place. What's the situation in Matti Pikelny land?
No, let's go get a word from Matti Pikelny. Matti, quite a roller coaster of a race there. You
I love how the fact I can hear myself
Kayla
still.
in the end. You're finding yourself in second place. What's the situation in the Monty Garland?
I'm getting an echo here.
We'll come back to Matti. We'll come back to Matti. I think Matti might be listening into the stream. We're not on FTL today, unfortunately. So I think Matti was listening into the stream and you could hear the question come back. But it'll be very fascinating to see how this one pans out, because when you look at the scoreboard, Casey, Matti, Kayla, they're all very close, and with the maximum points on the line, it's gonna be a fantastic finale. Kayla is currently finding herself in third place at 135. They're strategizing in the CVR camp. You know, they have before on this course, they've used Razor's Edge, they've used their weight lifted aggressively on the second lap, but with the bots this time around all at a 320 equalized watts. We'll see how it pans out, because at 367 the bots are strong enough to chase you all the way up in the first lap, but then they crash in the descent. This time, waiting for the bots on 2 laps with 320 equalized watts, it may not be the best strategy to wait for them, but across the board, this has been a fantastic zone of racing. If you got up in the morning like you did for Sebastian, or if you're up late in the US like Alison, Frank, Matti, Casey, etc., thank you so much. And now we watch as Frank Garcia uses weightlifted and Razor's Edge. He is trying to help Kayla to get into the best possible position here, as she is third. He slides on through. We've seen him crash twice in this corner. Will it be 3 times? No, it will not, as Kayla uses Razor's Edge. So the power-ups are gone in the CVR camp. Frank, this time around, safely gets on the wheel of Kayla, and with a 4-second gap, Team Cognition has got the numbers. Daniel LeBlanc of Canada on the front. Sebastian Kuhn in here. Alison Kubota. 4 riders for Team Cognition. It is set in stones as it's a tie. On the scoreboard, if you bring it down, Kayla, Casey, Matti, they're all within 4 points of each other. This is going to be a fantastic finish, but Kayla is finding herself on her own. Frank helped her out of the gun, and we're going to see, is he going to play the wrecking ball? He stays on the right, he lets Cognition comes through. Good sportsmanship from Frank Garcia, letting the Cognition train come on through. Daniel LeBlanc is chasing down Kayla. She's got a 10-second lead, and it is incredibly close. I think all Casey's going to do at this point is match and just stay on Matti. He's just going to spot him all the way, and whenever Matti accelerates, so does Casey. It's mano a mano between the two of them, but while that's happening, there's the opportunity for Kayla to run away with it. So Daniel LeBlanc, 199 equalized heart rate, Team Cognition, is somewhat helping Team CVR's Kayla Laguna. So Kayla needs a bit more help from the other riders, because she was in a good position. She was up there. She had a chance as Casey takes a tumble. Casey at the back doesn't give up until the legs do, but perhaps the brain just chose for him as he crashes down. 7th place, 10 seconds up the road. Has to use weightlifted. It can be so tough when you come into the 4th race. You've emptied yourself, and now Matti Pikelny sees that Casey Shum has crashed down. It's not over from Casey though, because the scoring multiplier is 2. And if he can catch back up to Homer, up to Ryan, he can make this incredibly close. So it's important to understand that if Daniel and Kayla stick and stay away, Casey can still win if he catches the rest. And now he uses Razor's Edge. He's got Homer Thompson of CCC. If we try and do the math, he's 8 points down on Matti. So he needs to move 8 points up. And I think he can do that by taking 3 more spots. I think he needs to catch up to Sebastian Kuhn. So 8 seconds up the road. It's a tough task, but if anyone can do it, it's Casey Shum. He gets a second of rest here on Homer Thompson, but he can't rest too long as Ryan Goldenberg is up the road. Sebastian Kuhn is up the road. And we look at the scoreboard. Casey needs to get up to Ryan's position. So Casey needs to be 5th at this point if Matti is to finish third. Now, I would imagine that Daniel LeBlanc is going to let Matti pass on through, which would give him another 6 points, which would mean Casey. There's so much math happening. There's so many scenarios, but essentially Casey needs to put the pedal to the metal and just send it. Lick the stamp, send it first class, and do not look back and hope for prime delivery as Sebastian and Daniel both go down. Those are the two Team Cognition members, and this again opens the door. Casey has got those points on Country Rally that were left on offer are now down. He comes on through. He's got Daniel LeBlanc, Sebastian Kuhn 4 seconds up the road. He passes Homer. And those points on the road of Country Rally could be the difference maker, as Kayla 4 points down on Casey as well. She could move on up. If Casey was to blow a gasket, as Sebastian crashes again, he accelerated into the corner, changed lanes too early, and now Casey 8 points down. He needs to move up to where Ryan Goldenberg is. 10 seconds is the difference. One more ascent of Fantastic Alien Sea. Can you turn yourself inside out one last time? That is the question at hand, as Kayla and Matti are fighting. This could all be for nothing, of course, if Matti does find his way to the front and pass Kayla. But Kayla has won before on Fantastic Alien Sea. She knows how to ride this, and she will not let go of this, because she has a chance of moving up. She's only 4 points down on Casey, and if Casey is to absolutely turn himself inside out and find that there's nothing left in the tank, he may get caught by Sebastian, which I think would let Kayla up one more spot. So it's been a great night of racing. It's been really close, and now we watch Matti of Team Cognition. It's not often he does race, but when he does, he brings the show, as Ryan down in third place. Ryan could help out Casey Shum as well if he manages to beat his brother-in-law Matti Pikelny here. There are some precious points on offer that he can take away as he's down in third, chugging along. Casey Shum at 189 equalized heart rate. You can see him into the headwind, onto the gradients. He's got Homer Thompson 4 seconds up. He's got Daniel LeBlanc 6 seconds up. As Ryan uses Racer's Edge, he is attempting to catch back up to Matti here. 1.5 kilometers to go. Zone T, CV Arcade World Cup for $25,000 in the overall prize purse. Every week is a learning experience. Every race is a lesson learned. And now they're trying to dish out here and see who's got the best marks. 2 seconds between Matti and Ryan. Homer uses weightlifted. We keep going back and forth because this is the overall. Kayla is off to the lead, and she has a chance here of moving even further up as Homer catches back on to Daniel LeBlanc. 1.2 Ks to go on the front. Casey, how much does he have left? Does he have any power-ups left in the tank? One crash, could it be all it takes? You can see the grimace. Now is the time to dig even deeper. 1K to go. You've done all that work, and you've got to finish it off. At the top, cresting the top, Kayla Laguna. For her third zone of the day. She is racing great here. Only 4 points down on Casey on the overall. Ryan and Sebastian are separated by 2 in 4th and 5th as well. So they're going to be fighting out, wanting the best, as Casey and Daniel LeBlanc in 4th and 5th. Secondary positions, bragging rights, everything matters as we enter the descent. But what's it gonna be for Casey Shum? This is the time of the day. Shake of the head. Those points on Country Rally may not end up mattering much after all, as Casey looks up, shakes his head. Matti Pikelny in 2nd place. At this point, I think he may know that it is in the bank. He's just got to ride conservatively and make sure not to make any mistakes here on the descent. And with 300 meters to go, 1 corner away as Daniel LeBlanc crashes. That is an opportunity to Casey. Can he capitalize on the Cognition's mistake? That is 1 rider further up. Unfortunately, that could mean the end for Kayla's opportunity to get up on the podium. But Kayla will take the win nonetheless, and podium position. So there she goes. Celebration on Fantastic Alien Sea. Matti Pikelny can cross the line as well. This will mean that preliminary he's won, and most likely on the official results, he can't celebrate for too long, because Ryan Goldenberg is going to come on through, and he lets Matti Pikelny have it. Team Cognition takes the victory on that one. 2 thumbs up as to see another celebration. Casey Shum, the man of the hour as well. Excellently fought from him. Thumbs down, but I think you can be proud of that one. One crash is all that can make the difference. Daniel LeBlanc, man, shout out to you. I know it's late in Canada. You rocked. It was good to have you on course. Sebastian Kuhn as well, early in the morning. Excellent racing all around. Let's catch all the replays if we've got them on Fantastic Alien Sea and just run through the racing and see how it unfolded, because it was a seesaw affair. At one point, Kayla was actually in the lead. When she attacked early, she was in a position where she was 2 points ahead of Matti and Casey, thanks to the early attack from Frank Garcia. As you can see, Casey's shake of the head. That one mistake cost him dearly. There are points on offer and there's money on offer, but as we get ready for the bracketed session in 2 weeks, these are valuable lessons learned, as we're only going to be racing Zone T more and more. We race it today, we race it Thursday, and we'll race it Saturday. We'll not race Saturday, we'll race E on Saturday. But it'll be good to see more Americans, more North Americans getting involved, as Kayla takes the victory. Fantastic Alien Sea solidifies her spot in 3rd place on the podium for Team CVR. She takes a great result, helped by Frank early on, and she crosses over the line, and you get the patented Kayla Laguna two-handed celebration. And then Ryan opting to slow down to let Matti come on through, and then Matti Pikelny with his celebration as well. I can't wait to see those in the game. But congratulations, Matti. That was a well-thought race. When you saw Casey crash, what went through your mind?
I thought, oh, here's my opportunity. I have to make it hurt now. I knew he was tired. I heard him talking about the extreme day of training stress that he had, and knew that was my opportunity to demoralize him. He's an amazing athlete, and if he hadn't crashed, I might have been the one who was demoralized. But I really have to thank my teammates, Allison, Daniel, Sebastian. It was great having them out there and working together. I was so beat on Country Rally, and I probably would have come in last if I hadn't been sitting on Allison's wheel and then Sebastian's wheel. And Daniel was running interference for me to make sure that if I slowed down or started to fall down in the points on the last race, that I still would stay on the podium or potentially take it. So it was so much fun racing with my Cognition teammates and the ad hoc teammates that got established as we got breakaways. It was really fun to work with Casey, especially on that extremely tough race on Temple Run. So a lot of fun, and I'm feeling really happy. It was a lot of work, but man, was it fun and exciting.
Now, established as the first Zone T broadcast winner here in the CVRK World Cup, does this mean you're going to be back on Thursday to defend the throne?
I wish I could. I've got parent-teacher conferences, so I will be telling the lovely parents of my high school students how wonderful they're all doing in class, and how they can further their plans for the future as I check into the results. You know, I will be leaving for home right around the time that the zone is starting, so I might make it in for the final event to help out whichever of my teammates are racing. So it was really special to take this one after missing Saturday's races and knowing that I wasn't going to be able to make Thursday, so I put it all on the line. So, but next week, I'm back.
That's the spirit. By the way, work obligation, what are those? Congratulations, Matti and Team Cognition. Well done. Let's hear from Casey. Casey, it was absolutely heartbreaking. You were there, and then you crashed. No, what happened?
I'd like to say it was an accident, but it's just, that's the fatigue of the brain and the skill of CVR. I mean, I reached up and hit the button to change lanes, and there was a guy next to me. My brain was still in the mode of the earlier races where we could just jump in right behind somebody, and I just made a bad lane change. So, but that's the fatigue. You know, I was completely cooked. And then I pretty much knew I wasn't going to get the spots back on Mati without wrecks. I was just kind of hoping somebody would wreck, and they got me a few spots further up to at least give me some cushion to Kayla. So I just kept watching, couldn't let anybody pass me, and I was trying to get spots back. But Mati raced well. If I'm going to get beat by anybody at this point of the day and this point of the training, at least it was by fresh legs, right? And Mati deserved that win. That was a lot of fun.
Talk me through, because we have Mixer watching and a bunch of people watching this perhaps even for the first time, and they see you suffering. They're seeing you with your shoulders tight, bent over the bike. What kind of fun is it to turn yourself inside out, especially when you crash and I've made a mistake, I need to overcome that? Explain how that is fun for somebody who may just be tuning in for the first time.
Yeah, it's definitely a different kind of fun. It's the frustration and the adrenaline, right? You make a mistake and then you push hard to overcome it, and it kind of takes the pain. It hurts, but it kind of masks the pain a little bit, because it's just like you get mad, right? You get that emotion going, and you just push harder. My races earlier today, I go upload my real power. I'm a cyclist. I train hard. I compete at a very high level, and I go upload my power, and I'm like, oh, that's the highest 20-minute power I did in the last 6 weeks, on the race earlier today. And during the race, I was suffering, but I didn't feel like I was that much on the limit, because you're just focused. You're focused on the wheel. Your mind isn't on the pain. It's on beating the person and staying with the person in front of you.
Well, Casey, thank you so much for racing both zones today. It's been an honor to watch you suffer, and hopefully we'll be able to see a race where you stay upright and keep the rubber side down all the way as we race again on Thursday. Best of luck, Casey, and I wish you good recovery ahead of that. Kayla in third. I think we just need to get a quick word, because Kayla, there was one time in this race early on where you were actually leading the overall Omnium. Was there ever a time when you thought, I've got this?
Yeah, I was feeling honestly pretty confident. Even though I raced the two earlier Omniums today, Zone L and K, I still felt pretty confident in my legs, and looking at the standings, was up there with everybody else and was on podium. So I thought that I'd be able to take the win, but Temple Run got me. There was just so much going on in there, and then just every race counts and every little point counts, because at the end you see I'm 195, Monty was 211, and then Casey was 203. So close in the standings, but congrats to Monty and Team Cognition for taking the win. Great racing all the way today around.
Thank you, Kayla. Yes, every point does end up mattering. It'll be good to see more racing as we do more on Thursday. Let's just catch all the replays, because Zone T, you've been amazing. Watching on Mixer, watching the racing, getting all these different dynamics and fresh legs, etc. Throughout the day. I'm sorry, Zone K. I'm sorry, Zone L. Zone T, you definitely win the zone of the day here on Mixer as we watch the highlights of the racing. Dark Matter Tech, Aaron Starlin, early attack. You see him find himself on the front, and when we spoke to him, he said, well, I just can't follow Matti Bikelny. When he goes on to do that, I mean, look at what the effort required from Matti Bikelny. You heard him say, I wanted it. I wasn't able to race Saturday. I wasn't able to race the earlier zones. I wanted that one badly. And the same mantra headed on to Temple Run as Frank, Kayla, and Casey throwing everything they've got. They threw the kitchen sink at it, and they returned with a tumble dryer in the end. But nonetheless, good attack there as Frank Sebastian on the back. Frank saying, right, Seb, time for you to close down the gap. You've got somebody up the road. I'm not going to do any of the work for you. I'm going to sit on your wheel. And then with 9.9 kilometers to go, Nigel Doyle made his way into the group here with Sebastian Kuhn also in this group. Nigel Doyle proving to be a major factor on the outcome of Temple Run. You saw the first block of many here on Team CVR's Kale Laguna. So on the keyboard, Nigel Doyle slamming on the brakes once more. And this is a build-up, not frustration, I don't guess, but different gameplay dynamics over different zones play out, and sometimes you get on and you feel like this is my time to shine, and it looks to be the CCC riders' outcome for that one. Ryan Goldenberg managed to get back on, but the second he did, Casey and Matti attacked with perhaps some of the best display of cross-team teamwork I've seen, using their quantum shifts, not for optimal purpose, but more of a sign of saying, well, pat on the back, I'm here, I'm willing to work, we do it, and Casey kept wanting Matti to do more, but in the end, Matti played the poker game, and his aces played out in the end, and he ended up winning the chips on the table. As it came into the sprint on Temple Run, he had more left than Casey, and Casey knew it. He just tried to get the advantageous sprint ahead of him, but it wasn't meant to be, as Matti Pikelny unleashes the tank with the fresh legs and comes around him on Temple Run, and we get to see the celebration once more. Then it was on to Country Rally. Everybody using their wind at their back from the gun. It's almost like a scene straight out of Star Wars. Call up George Lucas as Frank and the rest used wind at their back. Coming into the straight, it was Casey Shum who went toe-to-toe with Frank. Frank used both his power-ups. It was enough for one lap at the front, but then Casey took the baton and attacked over the top. Watching further down here, Ryan, Matti, Casey, Kayla, they're coming into it as every single AI rider not seeing the hay bales ahead of them, and they take a tumble as Matti attempted to get back some valuable points on Kayla here, because Fantastic Alien C was gonna be so incredibly close at the end. He knew it, but it wasn't meant to be for him, as Casey Shum, with 100 meters to go, keeps the Hungry Tigers at bay. Kayla in second, Matti third, Sebastian fourth, and I believe Ryan takes a tumble as well. So thumbs up from Casey, wins on Country Rally. The last race of the day here on Mixer for the CV Arcade World Cup was Fantastic Alien C. Casey Shum, the crash of the evening, taking him out of the racing, and you heard Matti say, I listened to the broadcast, I listened to him saying he's got fatigued legs, so the second he did that, I chose to pounce, I chose to attack, and he did so, and it demoralized Casey with empty legs, with tired legs, with fatigued legs. There was nothing left to give in the equalized racing, and Kayla Laguna was able to take the victory here on Fantastic Alien C, and we got to see her patented celebration as she crossed over the finish line and took her third spot on the podium. So across all three zones, solid performance. Matti crosses the line in second. Him and Ryan Goldenberg close to the end. Ryan slowing down, allowing Matti Pikelny to take the win and get his celebration. You can see the little smirk from Ryan knowing what he just did. But if you enjoyed watching the broadcast and you want to get involved in CV Arcade Racing, go to cvarcade.com. There's a massive green button saying download CV Arcade now. Download it, register. If you don't have the correct equipment, don't worry. You can go to the hardware store and purchase it through that. If you want to keep watching the CV Arcade World Cup, maybe you're a Matti Pikelny fan, maybe you're a Casey Shum fan, and you want to come back and you want to root for him, even or Kayla Laguna, well, all you gotta do is click that follow button down below and you get a notification every time we go live. That's Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So that means until Thursday, we'll see you then. But no, Beth-Yor goes crashing down. Termination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marvels. Kayla versus Allison, and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory.